Hi, this is Lakhi Singh, the property fixer, here to fix you and help you grow your property and your business affairs to the next level. So if you're looking for knowledge and insights about how to get involved in property, solve your problems about scalability in your property business, then do watch our 20-minute clips. We've taken them from hundreds and thousands of videos that we've taken over the last 6 months, and we've broken them into simple chunks which can make them useful for you. So do watch and do subscribe to our YouTube channel underneath as well.
Right, the follow on from your question that you asked. Now the question you asked was buying a house that it should, if it's going to be paying out and not generating income, it shouldn't be regarded as an asset. Is that the question?
Correct, yeah.
Right. Okay, what you've got to understand is what they are talking about in business terms is things that generate you revenue, whether you're a businessman or you're just a 9-to-5, anything that generates you income is an asset class. Anything that depreciates, like Lakhi said, that is used as part of your day-to-day peripherals that lose value, like a car or a equipment or machinery, that is normally not to be regarded as an asset. Okay, so the statement is correct, and what it's alluding to is that certain people, very shrewd, Lakhi's giving the example, actually even buy their personal houses with an angle on it. So they'll buy a house with an angle on it, and the angle will be to get planning, to add value, to get the value up on the house, so that when they sell, they end up with more equity than they had when they bought it, and then effectively use that money to buy a bigger house or maybe buy 2 houses. So I think what the book is probably trying to suggest, because I haven't read the book, but I know Lakhi has, is that it is looking at everything you do in your life. It starts from even your taking your milk bottle. If you can make money or look at it from a revenue producing tool, then that is what a good businessman does. He's always looking for the angle. The problem with milk is it only comes out in one way when you're a baby, but when you grow up, the point is anything you put your hand to should be, you could even put it on buying a vehicle. You know, you buy your first vehicle, that's not a brand new vehicle, it's a second-hand one, but you're buying it at the right price. So when you go to sell it, either you get your total money back or you make a few £1,000 out of it. So anything and everything that you purchase should be seen in the business world with a value add or money that you make off it rather than money you lose. And it's just reconfirming that asset classes in business terms are those that basically produce revenue. You have different asset classes. Property is an asset class, and like is investment portfolios, like our business, like franchise or production, retail, manufacturing. These are all different types of businesses and asset classes. Okay, so I hope that's answered the question for you. Yep.
Sorry, I just don't want to interrupt you there, because that's I learned something quite valuable there. So asset classes. So you said property is an example of an asset class. Can you give me another example? Because I don't think I.
Example of an asset class.
So another example of an asset class, if that makes sense.
Asset class, right? Okay, you've got investments into stocks. That's an asset class. That's a particular type of asset you can own. So if you invest into the stock market, or you invest into commodities, or you invest into future option deals of certain kinds, the different assets. Anything that gives you yield, anything that's going to give you an income is an asset. And normally the formula is that you try to offset the winners with the losers, or you play in average games. All the assets that you put your money in, they should all be making money, but in certain times, certain cycle of the business world, certain things make less money, certain things make more money, certain things you need to liquidate, put money back into another class. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Thank you. That's brilliant.
Okay, no problems. Okay, so we move on. Rich dad, poor dad. So Sonia obviously is very highly impressed by you. We've got a few comments. We've got Deborah, who says you should always be looking for multiple income streams. And Deborah, a lady who's got a lot of energy, a lot of chutzpah, as they say, who's gone and literally sold everything, gone out to follow her dream. So what other avenues of revenue are you going to be looking to put your money into, apart from property?
I think that's definitely something I want to think about a lot more and learn about more. Hence why I asked that question to yourself. And even another friend, I'm not as close with him, but he mentioned stocks a few weeks ago, and he was quite out of the blue, and he said I should look into it and get into stocks. But I feel like it's something that I've always thought about it, but I don't really. Maybe I just need to put some more time into it, and then I'll have a better idea. But I don't really know much about the stock market, if I'm honest. But that's something that I've been thinking about, and I think I need to definitely kind of start learning about that. Is there anything you recommend to start learning about the stock market? Or
well, what's happened is what happens is traditionally there's a lot of, and VJ Sell may correct me if I'm wrong actually on this. From what I remember, when usually the property market falls, the stock market is known to go up. That's been the cycle. That may or may not be a case in this particular recession and depression that we're potentially going through now, to the depression. But what I would say to you is that the more you understand economic cycles and the global sort of geopolitics, the more likely that whatever investment you do, especially when you start doing more than a couple of investments into a couple of different asset classes, then you're going to be a lot more knowledgeable how to make sure you don't end up getting caught up with the market forces, because you can't control market forces. They'll control your investments. So if the stock market crashes and the property market crashes, you bought lots of shares and you bought lots of property, and you haven't really thought out really what the implications are, and you haven't stress test or understood really what you're doing, and you may find you have to start back from scratch again. So I think that's actually very important. What do you reckon, VJ Sal?
I think just to add to what Lakhi said there to you, son, is that the property market directly is proportionate to the interest rates, remember. So all properties, the property industry as a whole is sustained by financial tools. So if you don't have financial tools, then the property market really becomes redundant, and we all go back into long-term leases like you got in the American market. So buying a property in America, even though it's a land of milk and honey, or the land of dreams and opportunities, the majority of people there in the United States actually lease properties. So it's only a very top-tier elite class of people with very good incomes that actually look to purchase mortgages. Hence the major crash. Freddie Mae and Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac, is it? Or is it Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae? Either way around.
I think it's Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae.
Fannie Mae, collapsed. Now, these are all the cycles, like Lakhi said, there are particular cycles, economic cycles. So the property market is directly proportionate to the interest rates. So while the interest rates are low, the property market normally is on a boom. Now that the property market is flattened out and the interest rates are low, what will happen is the interest rates will go up, which relates directly to what Lakhi said, that when interest rates go up, it is the stock market that starts performing, because then investment bonds start giving you good return. So you start making better money from interest on the investment in shares that you've got in the market than you do from property. That's the general rule. So what you've got to remember is, if you're looking to put money or buy an asset in the stock market, you have to be very careful to realize what's going to happen in the economic cycle. So we've understood that the property cycle is now it's gone to its max and it's boomed, and now you've got interest rates that are really low, which means there is going to be a bust in the property cycle. Then what you need to remember is, when there's a bust in the property cycle and the interest rates go up, normally you have something called a recession, or, as happens once every few hundred years, a depression. That normally suggests there may be some major turmoil on the horizon. It's either going to be, well, we've already got the COVID happening already, so that's already happened now. You're going to have either a major economic turn of event, or you're going to have some major war. So if you're going to invest in the stock market, you need to take out a niche. So you need to go into a niche area. Is it telecoms? Is it is it IT and software? Is it mass media? Is it military hardware? Is it AI? You need to decide what specific industry you're going to go into, because there's going to be a major turn of events, the way business is being done, the way we're perceiving of the interactivity of normal day life and business in the normal flow. You should be looking for things which are going to be futuristic, things that are going to determine the way the future is going to operate. And if you invest in those type of companies, you will probably make a small, decent package. Another asset class for you to look at, which is going to be up and coming, is a bit currency. Even though it's had a few, troughs and bounds and peaks, it is now, after this major interest rate hike, it will become a new way of doing business. It will become a new currency, an established new way of doing currency trading. So I think BitCurrency may be another good asset class for you to invest into. These are some hints and pointers for you. Ultimately, you've got to... Pardon?
Sorry, Vijay, is that the same BitCurrency?
Yeah.
Or is it different?
Is that the what?
It's the same thing, right? Bitcoin and Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's right. Bitcoin, BitCurrency.
Bitcoin and
Bitcoin, yeah. BitCurrency is the same thing.
Understood.
It's had, like a bad cycle as well, where lots of traders have actually been sort of trading on high risk platforms, and they've gone bust and people have lost money and etc. But now you will find, once this turn of event takes place, the economic cycle completes itself, there will be a new currency on the block. And one of the largest countries that are trading in electronic currency is Israel. So it may be a good idea for you to look at looking at those type of companies that are trading in BitCurrency still, and what the fluctuations are, what are the principal points in their movements. but you can't be a master of all. You can only be a master. If you're trying to be a jack of all, you'll lose more money than you make. If you go into a specific industry, then you need to keep a track of the headlines, see what's happening in the local press, the national, international press, and invest in those industries that you've got a specialism for. Otherwise, the other option on trading is day trading. That's quite much different to, so day trading or spot trading is slightly more high risk, but people who get to understand it and get their feet under a desk, they normally make good money. And the money that you make in day trading is normally when the market is down, which is what's going to happen. So I think that's my input for you. The rest is going to be your own research. You may start off by getting something like the Idiot's Guide, the little pocket handbooks. Just gives you an understanding of the way trading takes place, what type of trades there are, and how to understand them. Start that way. It's a small, get these small little, pocket size, books, and they basically just give you the essence of what trading is and how trading works. And then you start taking one industry and trying to invest in just the one industry. But the key is to keep your eye on the headlines, to keep your eye on the stock market itself, see what's happening in the industry, any major merger and acquisition with companies that go on which affect share values, and then start that way. But it is an exciting market to be in, but you have to be on the ball. Okay?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, we're in the last minute. So last minute, Lakhi Singh, any advice for the young Mr. Kam Singh?
I think one of the things I was thinking for you, Cameron, just before I was asked this question, is that I think if you invest in your knowledge, one of the mistakes I made, I think, was that when I was starting off, I might have had a very sort of 9-to-5 mindset, and it's difficult to get outside the 9-to-5 mindset if you don't know otherwise. So I think you need to surround yourself with at least 5 successful people in business and property who will make sure that you don't actually get stuck in the 9-to-5 mindset, because the 9-to-5 mindset is all about, do I have to get up in the morning on a Monday and go to work? And will I be in on time? And you've got to be treated a bit like a child at work. So really, you want to be the daddy, you want to be the boss. Doesn't mean you have an attitude at work with people, because they're not going to be able to comprehend your capability. So you really got to work on your mindset, and you really got to be thinking like you are, Richard Branson.
Yes.
You're gonna
billionaire's mindset.
Yeah. So you're going to put the time and effort in, and actually, I think your training is going to be a perfect analogy for the type of the work you're going to do in business. So to be honest with you, I reckon by the time you're 22, you could probably have made your first couple of £100,000. So just need to make sure that you get your get your knowledge right, get the right people around you. And start working on maybe one asset class which you want to be successful in.
Excellent.
And get knowledge of 2 other asset classes, so that you're a bit more diverse in your understanding of things. Okay.
Excellent. Lakhi Singh, thank you much for your wonderful advice to the energetic, inspiring young Kam Singh. Kam Singh, I hope it's been a lovely one morning with you, chatting, getting to find out there's lots of people out there bursting, become the new wave of entrepreneurs. Look forward to seeing you in the future. Takes it, Lakhi Singh, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. tomorrow. We have the lovely, what's her name? Julia Ford on tomorrow. So we'll be speaking to her tomorrow during the drive time. And we invite everyone to drive, to actually call in and ask your question, just like Sonia did. It'd be wonderful to hear everyone's questions in person. Take care, Kam Singh.
Kam Singh.
8
Well
a.m.,
done.
9 a.m.
Very much.